The Game Time Network is brought to you by Matt Gaddis of State Farm, the official insurance partner of the Game Time Network. Whether it's auto, home, renters, or life insurance, Matt has you covered with trusted service and personalized support. So make sure to reach out to Matt Gaddis for all of your insurance needs. And we are also powered by our friends at Wire to the Nines. For specialists in low voltage install and repairs, if you need security systems, networking, wiring, or upgrades done right, contact Wire to the Nines at wiretothenines@yahoo.com. Big thanks to Matt Gaddis and Wire to the Nines for supporting the Game Time Network.
Okay, I was downstairs eating, and then we get this: Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards. Didn't see this coming. There was talks about him going to maybe Toronto, I think maybe Minnesota, and then here come the Wizards out of nowhere to go get Anthony Davis and not only that, the Wizards are also getting D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, and D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. They're all going to Washington. The Mavericks are getting Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, yeah, sure. Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders. That's a haul for Dallas. AJ Johnson and the picks are the best thing about that whole thing. Holy cow! We've seen 2 teams that have been tanking for the last couple of years in Utah and Washington go out, make trades, and now next year they're going to be competitive teams in both conferences next year. I think right now, if I had to grade this trade for Washington, I'm going to give this a C+. Even though I'm very excited for Washington and what they can bring to the table next year, I'm going to give it a C+. Reason being, Anthony Davis only played 29 games for the Dallas Mavericks, and he has not been healthy. I mean, he recently had to start wearing the glasses, and then he got hurt already this season. I personally am a little weary about the AD trade, but I have to give props to the Washington front office for going out and getting Trae Young and Anthony Davis, regardless of your opinion of both of these guys. Look at what Washington has done in the course of these last couple seasons. They've built together a competent roster of young guys, and at some point, you got to phase out who isn't working, and that was AJ Johnson and Corey Kispert. They still have Koulibaly, they still have Carrington, and they still have Alex Sarr, and you got plenty of other young talent that I can't even name because I'm not a hardcore Wizards fan. But this is a great move by the Washington Wizards, and even if it doesn't play out, the goal, I have a lot of respect just for Washington to go out and make these types of moves because you're the Washington Wizards, right? Nobody expected this. Nobody saw an Anthony Davis trade coming. Really, no one probably saw the Trae Young trade coming until it was just being talked about over and over. But nobody saw this coming today. Nobody saw Anthony Davis getting traded to the Washington Wizards. Anthony Davis being traded, yes. But Anthony Davis to the Wizards? What? I didn't expect this. Jared McCain also went to the Thunder. I'm checking my phone just to make sure nothing else pops off. I had a video coming out to talk about the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade and what else I thought was going to happen today. But I'm going to have to push that video back to later tonight. Get this one up right now. What? What? Anthony Davis to the Wizards? I'm going to pull up Tankathon because this is really interesting. I don't think we know what the picks are quite yet. I'm going to scroll down and maybe get my thoughts together because what didn't expect this. Auburn, I don't see any. Okay, so Dallas is receiving a 2026 Thunder first round pick and a 2030 protected first round Warriors. They didn't even have to give up their own pick, and you look at it, Utah didn't give up their pick in their trade for Jaren Jackson Jr., and they give up 3 firsts. Washington didn't even have to give up their first. You got 2 teams that are inside the top 10 for the draft and just traded for perennial all-star talent. Anthony Davis is regressing. I understand that, but for Utah and Washington both, these are huge swings to be competitive next season. I can't believe this has actually happened. Whoa! I mean, I'm more shocked that the Wizards made this move than I was about the Jazz move yesterday. Just because Jaren Jackson Jr. we saw. I mean, I don't know. I'm shocked that either of these 2 teams made a move, depending just kind of where they're at right now in terms of their rebuild. But we've been talking about it on the show at length that it was about time that somebody from the bottom of the East went out and made a move. I mean, it was a time that and Dallas wastes. I meant Washington and Utah are like, okay, we'll be the ones to step up because it was about time that some of these bottom dwellers in the East and bottom dwellers in the West started to at least try to get something going. And you're starting to see that as Milwaukee starts to wither down and a couple of these other teams start to weather down, like Chicago, who are finally going full rebuild. It's time for Washington to step up. And I mean, Washington and Indiana are both at the bottom of the East, and they're both going to be very competitive. Now, Indiana's probably going to be one of the best teams in the East. Washington's probably, in my opinion, going to be Toronto levels of success next year, hopefully. Record-wise, I don't know how for sure, but if you look at the East right now, the East, I still am very much of the belief that no one is better than the teams out West, the top three, which is San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and Denver. Now, Oklahoma City really just upgraded because they just got Jared McCann, and all they had to give up was picks. And, I mean, if there's one rule, you shouldn't be trusting Sam Presti, but whatever. I don't know what Philadelphia was thinking, but you got Edgecombe, you got Maxey. I understand why you had to move him. You just had to move him to the Thunder. You could have just moved him somewhere else. You had to move him to the Thunder. Really? Anywhere else? The Thunder? But okay, whatever. But when I look at the East right now, I mean, we've talked about it. When you look at all the teams in the East, and I was talking about this after the Trae Young trade, I said, look at all the teams at the bottom of the East. And I was like, Washington has the best opportunity next year to actually play competitive basketball. And that was before they even made this Anthony Davis trade. I said with the Trae Young trade that this is going to give them a chance to play really good basketball. And what did I say about Trae Young? If you surround him against guys that are lengthy, athletic, and can play defense, he's gonna turn out fine. You just put Anthony Davis and Alex Sarr on the floor together, and Alex Sarr is only getting better and better. If you can get Anthony Davis for just, hell, maybe even 50 games, this team could definitely be in the playoffs. So I like this move for Washington. It is a step up. I like them over Brooklyn. I like them over Milwaukee. I like them over the Hornets. I like them over the Bulls. I like them over the Hawks. And I even like them over the Magic and Heat when we get into next season right now, because the Magic, they just absolutely disappointed me to no beyond. But I am thrilled for the Wizards. I could really care less what Dallas does because they're just trying to figure out what they want to do with Cooper Flag. I like the AJ Johnson pickup. Chris Middleton's a solid veteran. They really did this for the picks, and I would hope AJ Johnson, because AJ Johnson could really pan out into a really, 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 really good point guard or shooting guard, whatever place they want to put him. I love the moves that are being made by the Washington Wizards, though. I couldn't be more excited for Washington. Just making sure there's been no other trades while I'm recording this. But whoa. Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards. That is crazy. I want to get this video out as quick as possible. Once again, wow, Anthony Davis to the Wizards. I cannot believe what we are seeing. The video is going to come out later talking about Jaren Jackson Jr. I had it set up to go up at 4. It's probably going to have to go up at like 7, 8 o'clock now. Obviously the title of the show is Game Time After Hours, but I mean, we gotta go breaking, right? I didn't even change the banner to say AD to the Wizards. We got to take the banner off, but whoa, Anthony Davis to the Wizards. I'm just like, whoa. And because, I'm not a Wizards fan, but I talked about them all off season. And I said I'm very interested in Washington and their young core and the leap Alex Sarr has made this season. And I love Koulibaly and I like Bub Carrington. I like what the Wizards have when it comes to their young guys. Now it's just about putting it together, going out there and being competitive. And you look at the structure of the Eastern Conference heading into next season. The Pacers are definitely going to be back in play. Let's not act like they won't be. Philadelphia is going to take a leap. This is going to be tough for Washington because there is a lot of competitive teams out east. And there's different levels of competitive, obviously. But you've got a Magic team that isn't at their full potential right now, and I really don't have an answer as to why. You've got a Hawks team that Jalen Johnson could be their guy or couldn't be. They're 25 and 27. They're going to be in the play-in. The Hornets are on a multi-game winning streak. They're on a 7-game winning streak. They're 8 of 2 in their last 10 games. The Hornets look like they may be starting to hit their stride here with Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball. The Bucks are probably going to move off Giannis. I think he's going to end up in Miami, but who knows at this point, because one minute he wants to stay, the next minute he wants out, so he needs to make up his damn mind. But right now, when you're the Wizards, there's so many things shifting and everything else. You've got a chance to be real competitive next season, because really, if one team's getting better, somebody has to get worse. And I'm looking at New York, and I'm looking at Toronto, and I'm looking at Cleveland. It's three teams that could potentially be worse than next season. And that gives teams like Charlotte, Washington, and maybe even Philadelphia to an extent to be better than what we all expected, and even Orlando as well. But I'm starting to sell my stock on the Magic. Let me know what you guys think. I am thrilled for the Orlando Magic, or not the Orlando Magic. I'm thrilled for the Washington Wizards. I can't believe they took this leap. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. If there's any more trades, I will definitely have a video coming out. So we got this video and then a Jaren Jackson Jr. video coming out later tonight. I will see you all. If anything else comes out of Twitter from Shams, we'll be here to record it, hopefully. Now, I do got to leave for Richmond here soon, but thank you guys for all the love and support. I will see you guys next time on another episode of Game Time After Hours. See you guys later.